What's so special about the Integral project? Is it unique? Is it different? Are we doing something which has never been done before? Not really. Learning has been there since the human being began, since the first child started to grow. I think integral learning, holistic learning, natural learning is not something which has been, it has to be marked in history at all. Anybody who wants to learn naturally will take a holistic and integral approach, though they may never use these words. What does that mean? And can we expand on that a little bit? Can we go into it? Learning is, in its natural state, is a holistic affair. One question leads to another. One question is linked to another. One answer leads to a whole new set of questions. It's a chain. It's a web. It's an expanse. And the Integral project that we do over here takes this into account. And it is something we don't really have to make a huge effort. It's something that happens. And we acknowledge nature. We acknowledge happening rather than doing, though doing is also involved. But happening also has a place. So the Integral project is unique in its essence of being something very natural. And can we say that something which is natural has been implanted by XYZ human being? It's as old as the hills. Whenever learning has happened in a natural way, it's happened. If we didn't have schools on this earth, would there be no learning? If we didn't have structured and canonized education, would we not have questions? Would a child not ask that this cat has come? Would a child not be curious? Of course a child will be curious. And of course the curiosity will lead him or her to find out. This is how life is. So I would say that anybody who goes deep into education, anybody who acknowledges what is natural, anybody who lets the child be a child, will also have these approaches to some degree, or to a lesser or to a greater degree. Of course, our labeling can be different, our packaging can be different, we can call it by different names, but in its essence, it's pretty much the same. One, that it's natural. Two, that it's interconnected. Three, that it's deep. Now, the deep is where we need to get some clarity. What do we mean by that? I'll give a small example. Here, when we are learning, when a project is being done, let's say you're learning, the topic is chappals, okay? So the child is working on how did footwear come into being, okay? Who started it, when did it start, what happened, and how has it moved to today's branded world, okay? Let's say that the child is tracing this journey and all. So of course they are going through this whole gamut procedure of research and the rest of it. But the teacher, the facilitator will also ask the child to look at other dimensions, or at least that is an effort. I can't say that we've really reached over there, but this is also something we ask teachers to help children in, and also the children to move, and gradually we will get there. What are we saying? Try and link a topic to values that surround it, or values that can be learned through the study and pursuit of its knowledge. So footwear, especially if we are moving into language, I'm just taking that as a random example, there's a huge learning involved over here, okay? And the learning is, simple thing, why do we take footwear off when we go to, let's say, some temples? Not all religious, all institutions or places have this, but many do. In India, in homes, you take your chappals off. Here in our school, our children take their chappals off and then sit in the class. So why do they do that? How does it help? What is the reason behind it? And not just the history, but what is the significance? How is taking your footwear off related to humility, for instance? Okay, how is it a sign of respect, for instance? What can we learn from the shoes we wear? Do the shoes have an example, have a lesson to teach us? Do we learn from shoes? How many people wear them, how we throw them, how they sustain us, how they protect us from thorns and stones? Who are the people in our life that protect us from thorns and stones? Okay, so what are we doing? We are not just looking at the history of it. We are not looking at just the economics. We are looking into that. We are not looking at just how to make footwear. We are looking at what values we can learn also. When we learn to do that, we go deep. We can also link the learning of a project or the pursuit of finding out information and knowledge about something to acquiring various skills. For instance, let's say if you're learning about a flame, a flame, you see a child is learning about candle. Okay, now candle's flame flickers very often. So you will bring in the whole notion of concentration. How do you remain still? What is stillness? What about our inner flames? How still are we inside? What shakes us? What would extinguish us? What would take our light away? Could anything take our light away? Is the extinguishing of a flame, does that mean that light has gone away forever? Or does it mean it's gone away temporarily? So what are you doing? It's not a question of moralizing. It's a question of being able to see that everything around us has something to teach which is of deeper value. And that is how we try to bring that in slowly and wherever possible, not forcibly. It's not like compulsory that no matter what topic you're doing, you have to drum it in. It's not like that. If some topics lend themselves more to reflection, to going into the depths, and when they do, we would open ourselves to that, so there is a deeper transformation happening in the child.